Good morning. We are live. We are live. We're alive. We're alive. We're alive. How's everybody doing? Why so serious? Good morning. Why so serious? If you are wrong in all the right ways, all you underdogs, I will never be anything but loud and nitty gritty. Good morning, Dragon Dancer. Good morning, Loki and Channel. What's so serious?
Chandra.
Thank you for the Chandras. Gently knocking all my stuff over. We've got some fun things planned today, actually. I'm excited. Want a little feedback on the video again. I know I kind of mentioned it last week that we have a new video and nobody even really noticed, which is fine. It's okay. But since it is now streaming up to, I think, maybe a little bit past 2K or can go past 2K, I haven't changed my bit rate, so let me know if we have any jumping or if it looks funny or anything messes up, because a little bit of our process has changed. So if you see anything funky, just let me know so that I can work on that if it's messed up. So no worries, Dragon Dancer. Completely understand that, of course. We are actually hoping to keep today's process right to the time frame that we normally do. Because at noon I got to pack for work for the week, so do that today, and then we're going to go out and finish pulling up the grass and cultivating and getting the stones up and everything in this front garden, so that our front garden will be 100% done. I am traveling this week, so I won't be back until Thursday night. So, and then Friday's Malice Experience. Saturday or Sunday, I can't remember which day you're coming over. I think it was Saturday. But either way, both days we're going to be working the garden. I do need to get to Home Depot probably and get some of the timbers for the retention wall. I have the stakes. I just need the timbers. So we'll definitely be working on that.
Good morning, everybody.
We're going to set up a couple of things. We're probably going to turn the video on a little bit early. So Saturday, next Saturday, remember. Yard work all day.
Well, Thursday I will be at a meeting in Fort Lauderdale for work.
I'll be flying home from Baltimore, God's willing. I think...
Good morning, everybody.
I don't know why you do that when this is right here, but whatever works for you. Weirdo. We've got some Herknunger playing in the background. It actually did just stop, so I'm going to restart it. We're going to do the Primordialis album. If you don't know who Herknunger is, you should see it on your screen. Herknungr on YouTube. Makes some pretty amazing music and has a live radio style channel with some Viking music on it. Also does some Slavic stuff. He does make a lot of the music himself. He also uses some music, I think, from some smaller groups, so that's pretty cool. So I'm going to play this in the background. I should move our corners. Let me just get all of this on here. I don't know. It might be back there on the piano because I cleaned up.
So I think we should do that relatively soon.
And if you could not kick my table, that would be great. We're going to call... Saturday. Oh, sorry. That's what I was going to say. I'm probably going to get Rook to take the van down and see if we can't get some of the timbers. We may not be able to get them for the retention wall, which is fine because we have the side areas to do and the front to do still. So we'll have plenty of stuff to do. The main garden we'll be working on, though, is going to be the full sun garden that will be out front, because that's the one we're most advanced on so far. We can still plant stuff elsewhere. Before we get started any further, we are going to do our circle. Some of you, if you happen to be at the Casa Shanti with Joy, you'll recognize this. This is a opening and circle casting that we wrote, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, and it's been changed a few times and adjusted, but it's very, to me, it kind of pulls in both from elements and ancestors. It's more open, it's less watchtowery and sylphs and undines and salamanders and sliffs and gnomes, and it's a little more generic for sure. But we are going to call this Corners. We're going to give you a quick rundown of the show, and then we're going to video this baby up and get rolling.
Yeah, but you have to allow for my dried to be dried.
I'm going to start this time because you usually start.
Good, because I was about to jump on in.
I know you was.
Call me courtesy.
All right. Courtesy. Hear me, friends and ancestors from the East. Hear my voice carried on the air of clarity and truth. Watch over us as we cast our circle of safety and love.
See me, friends and ancestors from the South. See my flame of passion and creation seared into the energy of the universe. Watch over us as we cast our circle of limitless possibility.
That's fire yelling in the background, trust me.
Yeah. Well, he is. He was born in November, like myself.
Feel me, friends and ancestors from the West. Feel my love, fear, sadness, and joy washed into the waters of the rivers of compassion. Watch over us as we cast our circle of connection and motion.
Reach me, friends and ancestors from the North. Reach my feet and hands, the earth in my toes and work of my fingers. Watch over us as we cast our circle of the earth.
Know me, friends and ancestors from the Aether. Know my intent, know my heart, know my spirit. Watch over us as we ask you all to join us in perfect love and perfect trust.
Hear, see, feel,
reach, and know that the circle is safe, the circle is comfortable, the circle is sacred,
and the circle is cast. So it is done.
That last one was always meant to be for the whole group to say, but I've changed it since then because I took comfortable out. It sounded weird, so it's a little different. I need to find the reprint the new one. So yeah, welcome in circle. I think number one we do that because when we're here we do like to have the circle, but also so you can kind of experience. I think those of you that are in here already know this part because you're the peeps. But we want to kind of express and share some of those things that we do. And that takes me to today. Obviously, we're going to still talk about our books. We're going to talk about recent podcasts a little bit. We're going to talk about our projects and news. But the main thing today, excuse me, once we talk, excuse me, a little bit about the forecast for the cosmic forecast that I've been doing each week, zodiac weather, that's what I call it. Our main topic today is ritual and celebration. And this is, I know last week we talked about prepping and crystals, which is something we are going to carry through. So I've got a couple of crystals here I do want to talk about. But also we have celebration and ritual I want to talk about. How do you celebrate? How do we do ritual? What are some ways we can do ritual? And just kind of how that looks like and what that looks like, right? So I know a lot of people who are new and old to the craft want to know, well, how do I celebrate the fall equinox properly? I'm going to give you a little tip and a little hint early on. There's no such thing as properly in the world of paganism. Now, there may be a proper four-year path that you're a part of or a way that you do it specifically. Sure, that's fine. But for us, it's different. It's always different. We have celebrations and Sabbaths. All these things are just different at different times. So barring that, we are going to hit some pretty good discussion on that. So if anybody has some input on that, we obviously want to hear that. So, and I don't know why I cannot clear my throat today, but we are going to share a couple of our what do you call them, like links and stuff. So I'm going to walk you through one of my favorite websites that has been very helpful. To what do you call it?
To practice.
Yeah.
That's a cool picture.
Mm-hmm. And then that's not the one I actually wanted, though, of course. This is the one I wanted. Alright. So
learn religions? We'll have
Yes.
to check that out.
What do you mean? This is the link I copied.
Oh, no, I was reading what Heather was saying.
Yes, that's funny you should say that, because as you are saying that, Dragon Dancer, that is what I'm pulling up. It's actually the Learn Religions Mabon, the Autumn Equinox, because this is a website we often will utilize in part of our preparation of our paths. So that's going to be coming up. Is my shirt ready?
Almost. We still have 5 minutes or so.
Okay. So when we get to that point, we are going to
Ooh, let me put some spirit on it.
share our screen with that for you. Share our screen for you with that, I think is what I meant.
Ooh, let me see a little bit.
What is it? What is it?
Oh, I was just going to put some on.
What is it?
Spirit.
Okay. Go ahead. I had a plan, but go ahead.
The universe just wanted this burn to open the gateways of the service of the.
Yeah, so yours doesn't have the amber in it either, because we added that afterwards. So I do want to burn the recipe. I pulled one of the things we're doing. I'm going to show you too. Hopefully, I don't forget. That's pretty cool. Is as we make our herbal blends to burn, we call it incense. It's not really incense. It's really just smoke and scent from the herbs that we like for certain reasons. So we're going to, whenever there's some left over when we're making a big batch of it, we put it in a bottle and we keep it. And it's starting to smell pretty divine. Right now we have a mix of like a year's worth of Samhain and some other things.
Put some.
It's got a very neat scent. But we're not burning it right now. We're still collecting.
Nice. Very earthy and fiery.
Yeah, and so what we're going to do is we're going to make it like a perpetual stew. We're going to continue utilizing that over time again, right?
We'll always have some.
We'll always have some going, and we'll always be adding it in. And then every year at Samhain or Yule, one of those two is where we'll probably burn. But I wanted to burn out the rest of my air too because we have so much of it.
I need some air this morning.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm not fully awake, focused.
Yeah, and I think what do you call it? From a zodiac perspective, we actually go into air later this week, I think. By the end, I wrote it down. I'll have to get back to that. Yeah, I think Gemini. By the end of the week. But yeah, the Learn Religions website is freaking amazing. It is definitely a favorite. There's a lot of really good ones, and what I like about Learn Religions is it is full of different options for different things. And there's nothing that says, here's how you celebrate Mabon. It says, hey, here's Mabon. Here's some ways you might want to consider celebrating. Here's some things you can do. Here's some things you might want to look at. And it leaves it nice and open for us to discuss. All right, I want to go ahead and talk about books. You want to go first on books? You want me to?
Sure. I am still reading Lords of the Left-Hand Path by Robert Flowers, Stephen E. Flowers, pardon me, to the author.
Amen.
I've started a new old job this week getting settling in, so I am about to start a section on the Buddhism or Left-Hand Path in Buddhism. And it's really good. I think that he has a foreword or afterword or something in the book you're reading, right?
He does.
Or is referenced.
He does. Stephen Flowers did write the foreword in what I'm reading, which is called The Uncle Setnock's Essential Guide to the Left-Hand Path. And Rook, as you can see, Stephen E. Flowers, 1999.
Yeah.
So this book by Don Webb, I had mentioned it before. It was recommended to me by a couple people. As you know, I'm not considered left-hand path as far as my choice not to want to be considered something specific other than pagan, which to me encounters it all. I will tell you, this book, just 10 pages in, is probably one of the best books I've read. It gives clear information. It gives things that are based in fact about psychology. It is very symbolic. It is very easy to read and understandable. It makes sense. It even has logic to it, which I thought was weird. So I'm enjoying this book way more than I expected. I am going to use the guide that it says is basically read through the book, take notes, and then go back through it and practice through the book. So that is my plan.
Dragon, I hear you. I didn't have time this week to read either, so we miss those times, but we read when we can.
Yeah. I'm lucky the flying, now that I'm back, things are getting a little bit back to normal, even though I don't like it and I'd rather be home. It does kind of force me to it forces me to actually do that. You know what I mean? It forces me to make sure that I'm paying attention. It forces me to read when I'm on the plane so that I can get certain things done. So that's something I do like about, I have to admit, about my travel. But recent podcast, so I did not get a good chance to finish all of the Malice experience. I usually watch them when I'm not participating because I do like to know kind of what's going on. I like to keep up on things. Friday should be the last one that I will officially miss because I really had prayer engagements, obviously, at Casa Shanti. So I'll be back, hopefully back to normal, consistent next Friday. So that'll be kind of fun.
You know, just a thing, I think you agree with me in going, we went to a really good, and thanks to Heather, a recommendation for a metaphysical shop yesterday. It was awesome. But you know, one thing that I've noticed, and I brought it up yesterday, is they do not have, none of these shops have anything left-hand path or alternate path related. Mm-hmm. Satanism or whatever it is. It's like very, hey Joy, good morning.
Good
very
morning.
Love and light, like, and I mean all the shops. So I guess it puts us out to go online.
I'm going to challenge you a little bit on that.
Challenge away.
I don't think I would say love.
Hey Joy.
I don't think I would say all love and light. I think that's a little judgy. It's because they are all, I want to say a little bit pagan, but mostly New Age.
Yeah.
Is what I want to.
Well, like Mystic Moon. I mean, you know, all the stores, you would call it New Agey more so.
Yeah, love and light to me is something that people have been using a lot lately to be kind of aggressive or categorize. It's a little bullyish, not from you, but in general. And it's not about being love and light because you can go in that store and get, hemlock and make a spell that's not positive. That's up to the practitioner. So it's not to me, it's not that the stores are love and light. What's missing is they are catering to a niche, but they're leaving out a whole part of the pagan process. So the stores that we go to are metaphysic and mystical. They're not pagan. That's
true.
Kind of how I feel.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the people in them may be considered New Age or pagan or even left-hand path or whatever, but the wares are very focused on more of a New Agey metaphysical thing, which is, I think, okay because it gives us kind of a balance. But the challenge really is, I would like to go in and see, even if I'm not interested in buying it, I would like to see the area on Hindu with Hindu magic in it, and or whatever that process is specific to them. I would like to go in and see, the left-hand path books and black candles with the goat on it and Baphomet. I want to see those things, even if I'm not interested in buying them specifically, which I probably would, but I want to see them. I want to see people having that inclusion in there, and we don't see that much. That does not detract away from that store being awesome.
Oh, and I wasn't just talking about that store.
It was a great store, yeah. But you started into that, so I just want to point out, Ways of Light was great.
Oh,
really cute
awesome.
store.
Oh, definitely awesome. I'm talking about the Labyrinth. I'm talking about All of Treasures. I'm talking about Mystic Moon. Alchemy and Ashes was more of a oddity store. It wasn't.
Right.
It's the same thing. It wasn't a pagan aligned store, but it was very cool.
It is. That would be my dream store. This store has one room it's a room that is all herbs and spices and things like that, and you can go in and for like $5 you can fill a bag with whatever herbs and spices you need for your practice. You can even use their table to mix it and add stuff to it and oils and things. I want that. They had another room that was all like old books and ripped apart shredded books and baby doll parts, and there was a whole section that was coffins and like macabre stuff, and then a whole section that was handmade or homemade soaps and sprays and stuff. So it was very, I liked it separate out like that. It was like each little themed room, and then there was one section where you had to pay like a little museum to walk into, which was cool. They did little things in the back, which was awesome. So those stores are pretty cool. Shadow work. So shadow work continues. We did put out our video finally. I am the only editor in the house, so it does take me a little bit of energy. I'm sorry for that. Editing is not a simple process, right? Of course. So what I want to kind of point out with our Eclipsing the Shadow is we are working now through cards 3 and 4. I know a couple of people have had indicated interest in wanting to do a little bit more on the Star of Discovery that's in the book. So I'm going to probably, maybe put out a couple of little things that talk about the Star of Discovery, since the book's not really available now, and kind of what the correlations are. We can't obviously copy and provide the book, but we'll put some things out either on YouTube or in the Discord that will kind of explain the Star of Discovery in a little more detail for those that aren't actually reading it, and kind of go through that process. Still not dry.
Probably about 3 more minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm hot. It's hot in here.
It is
feels
hot in
warm.
here.
It's probably the Pagan. Hey,
Hey guys,
there's nothing there, y'all.
I have herbs coming from my friend in Pennsylvania. Oh, cool.
That will be awesome.
That's awesome.
And then, so we have 2 topics today on the news. The first one is the Doomsday Glacier. We've talked about things like this before, but there's like all kinds of weather phenomenon. So a couple things. There is a glacier the size of Florida that the way it is connected to the seafloor has scientists worried that it will break off. If it does, it's considered the Doomsday Glacier because it could raise sea levels by 4 to 6 feet.
Wow.
Because of the way that it is and how it would displace, something the size of Florida is a pretty big chunk. And I don't know how that would affect us at sea level. It would probably affect Norfolk worse than it would us. Louisiana is the one that's most
Wow.
at risk, and that is the Thwaites Glacier, is the Doomsday Glacier. Also interesting, they're concerned economically because as it becomes more potentially likely that these things will happen, and as sea levels start to rise, people are going to stop buying certain waterfront properties, get nervous, stop spending money. Cities might start having a lot more difficulty staying together. So, you'll have reduced revenues from taxes because less people and all that. So there's a lot of worry, a little bit of fear mongering, I think. But we know global warming is happening, and at this, it doesn't really matter whether it is or not. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's human or not, it's happening. So we have to prepare for it. Joy, you should see our live now screen with the gray background, Rook Salann Sunday service. That's the screen you should see. We are live, but we are not on video at the moment. We are waiting for one more thing to occur before we can turn the video on.
Yes. Oh, I never lit this other candle.
So if you can see the gray screen, then you're on the right place. And it's not tacky to ask. Not at all, because
you're not techie.
it's tacky. That's what I mean, not tacky. It's not an issue to ask. I mean, what am I trying to say? Thank you for telling us, because we wouldn't know otherwise if there was a problem. There we go. I'm going to try to spend at least one day while I'm in Baltimore this week to see, and actually I'll be in Baltimore all week, to see if I can find there's some really pretty areas and maybe procure some herbs from there, just as a learning experience. Yeah, so we will definitely go live video in just a second. We usually would be live by now as far as video, but I am waiting on a clean shirt. And you do not want to see the green man at the moment, I'm sure. So yeah, lots of weather things have the other, we've heard there's rivers drying up. Now, I also heard San Diego got the most rain it's had ever. It's they broke a record, and it was like half an inch. It was so funny. Like their record was 0.1 inches.
Wow.
But in Southern California, they've got a whole year's worth of rain in like 3 days.
Wow.
Which, it sounds like, oh my God, that's great, they're getting rain. But then when you think about all that at one time, it doesn't absorb properly. It doesn't go through the earth properly. It creates, flash floods and runoff and stuff like that. So it's not really good to have it all at once. It's better than not getting it at all. So that was something else I noticed. Also, form storms are starting to happen a little more in the Gulf and in the Atlantic. So lots of weather stuff going on. Any comment on that before you step off?
Other than it's, where we live, we are used to having a heavy rainy season, like I'd say August. It kind of ramps up in June-ish slowly, and then in August,
and we get short, heavy downpours.
Right, and we would have that really hit hard in August, but it didn't really do that this year. It's kind of started
Later.
Late August or September.
Yeah, and what's different for where we are is we, instead of the short daily downpours, we're having all day rain, which is very abnormal. That's not happened my entire time down here. Having an all day rain is very rare, and we've had that 3 days in a row now. Again, not complaining. If you hear the interesting noise in the background, that's Finn carrying a bone that's 5 times bigger than him around the floor, and he can't carry it very well, so he keeps dropping it. Pennsylvania. I spend a lot of time in Pennsylvania for work. I'm excited to go back up there. Well, I like being there. I don't like actually traveling there. So, but being there is fun. This week it's in Baltimore, so hopefully I won't have any delays. I've been appealing to the gods of the lapis lazuli for traveling and trying to keep my travels enjoyable and stress-free. Our second news article, while we're still waiting, should be able to go live here in like 3 or 4 minutes with the video, but our big topic today is ritual, so we're going to hit that pretty hard. But before we do, I wanted to talk about news. So I was looking in these articles, every week that we look at to kind of talk about on here, and one of the articles was 4 subtle signs that you are going the wrong way in life. And I'm like, oh, well, this might be pretty good, article to read about, shadow work and how to make sure that you're having life and you're, having life. That you're just, enjoying life and doing things right. And that you might need to turn around or do something different if you're having an issue. And what are those issues and what do they look like? Well, this article listed these as the 4 things. Hate going to work, would rather be with friends instead of significant other, yearly expenses go up, and you're not excited about the future. So as I started reading this, I'm thinking, this is the dumbest article I've ever seen. If I was somebody who had depression or was having an anxiety issue or having difficulty currently, this article would make me feel pretty shitty about myself. And so Rook and I got to talking about why some of the articles are written the way that they are, because they're just filler space. And so this article, it was complete shit. It wasn't edited properly. It wasn't grammatically correct. The headings were all messed up. And this is on a large news outlet. Is it dry?
Couple of minutes.
Okay, I'm just going to wear this shirt. I'm not...
You want me to bring it? It's just got a little piece at the top that's kind of damp.
I can wait 1 more minute. And so it's me. Now, can you get my book, please? I'm just dropping everything over here. Now I forgot what I was talking about. Just put it over there for now.
And I'm tripping over everything.
Just making sure nobody's dying. These articles that are put out for filler space that people look at, and if they don't know otherwise, or if they're in a bad spot in life, they may listen to them and really have that focus on that negativity or that improper thing. Because, there are days when I don't like my job. There are days when I don't like you, when you get on my nerves.
Really?
Every day, at least for a few minutes.
Really?
No, not really,
Wow.
but kind of, yes. But seriously, there are days when you don't feel like doing stuff, right? There's days when maybe you don't like your job, when you aren't excited about tomorrow, And it doesn't mean you need to turn your life around or your life is going down the wrong road. And that's really frustrating to think that somebody that maybe doesn't have the right headspace at the moment, because that's all of us at some point, can read this and just feel that much shittier about themselves. They don't understand why that's even a thing. So that was our topic for the news articles. we focus on negativity a lot because that's what people that's the off thing, and so it grabs our attention and we look at it and they stick. And I don't like that. Like, I don't like to go on and see that. So are these things that you should consider when you're doing magic and when you're thinking about your practice, or even as being a human, right? Yeah. If you don't like going to work every day, should you consider maybe getting a different job or trying something new? Sure. Does it mean your life is going down the wrong path?
No.
No, it does not. So, it's all that stuff in the news, and I'm not just talking about like murders and negative news per se, but it's these self-proclaimed stories about how to be better and do life better and be a better person, and all of those where we focus on, if you have these 4 things, you need to turn your life around.
Right. It's the tone, the tone of the undertone, maybe I should say.
Yeah.
Of what the writers are infusing.
Yeah. And so the moral of the story for that topic isn't, here's the 4 things you need to look out for if you need to turn your life around. It's when you're reading or looking at articles online, remember that your perspective will alter what they mean for you and how you take them in and how you evaluate them. And it's very easy to just say, oh, well, don't listen to it, they're wrong. But ultimately, that's just not how it works. And I think also some of us are at a bigger disadvantage quite often. All right, I have a shirt on now. I can go live. Sorry for that, y'all. We're waiting for my shirt to dry. I like big decks. Rook will be back in a second. But yeah, so that it's just so frustrating to kind of see that out there, that message. And I would hope that people will get a different message of, recognizing that's somebody's perspective and it means really nothing in the grand scheme of things. I'm going to go ahead and hit the topic of the cosmic and moon phases, because I want to spend the majority of our hour here talking about ritual and celebration and that. So, yeah, thank you. As long as it's not like choppy, because we've changed the settings on it. I don't want it to get all choppy. And yes, our stuff is messy, but at this point I don't give it a flying rat's backside. So currently the sun is still in Virgo, which is our 6th sign of the zodiac. We talked about that. It's mutable Earth. This is a Mars planet ruling. Parados, greens, browns, earths, forest, fields. Those are all symbols of Virgo. And that's the sun transmutation. So as I was going to say, as the sun spins through as the solar system goes around the sun, as we know, our perspective on Earth of what we see in the sky also changes as the Earth rotates, right? As the Earth rotates on its axis, as it wobbles, as it spins, and as it kind of goes around in its season track, its 365-day year. That's your sun sign. Sun signs are, for me, is Virgo, because my birthday's in the Virgo sun sign. The moon sign generally lasts 2 to 3 days per area, sometimes a little more or less, depending on where the moon is located in your chart. The moon sign being, for me, Virgo, again. So in the constellation at the time of my birth, the sun was, Virgo was transmuting sun, and so was the moon, which gives me that double dose of Earth energy. And then my ascendant, which is where is the rising sign house, first house rising in your chart was Taurus, so another Earth one for me. But anyway, we are currently in Virgo. Today we are waning gibbous 98%, meaning 98% illumination of the sun, because yesterday was a full moon.
Oh, it was so awesome.
It was the harvest moon, represented so because it lights up the sky enough during the harvest that you can see at night and you can continue to till and work your crops through the night. Back in the time where we had to do our work specifically to manage crops and pull that stuff, we really needed that, time, that extra time to get our crops together, because we had to procure them and save them to get us through the winter. Now there's one more harvest coming, that's Samhain, which is the last harvest. So you've got, I think it's Lunasa, and then Equinox, and then Samhain for harvest. Your 3 harvest seasons or Sabbats, celebrations. But again, we'll talk about that in a minute. So, just going over our zodiac weather forecast. Last week, Virgo pulled us through the crazy energy jumps, and by the end of the week, as we all know, Saturday, Sunday, energy was crazy high, lots of emotions. But this week, the moon will be traveling through Aries today and tomorrow. That's a fiery sign. It's still a creative. Do still work your craft. This is a good craft day. This is a good work of the yard day. You've got earth and fire together. It's gonna be hot as shit down here anyway. Go out into the yard and get the shit done. You'll get a lot done today. Then next week, midweek, so Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we're back in Taurus. So you've got Virgo Sun, you've got the moon in Taurus, right? So again, you're getting this mundaneness next week. So next week is all about the physical world. So this is house cleaning your house, putting things together, organizing, fixing something that's broken. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, if you have time at home, you should be doing things around your house that is fixing them up. You might need to paint. You might need to rehang something or fix something or put things back together. Those are all things that next week is going to be really good about. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. If not, and you're at work, then it's going to be about organization. It's going to be about putting things together. It's going to be about coordination of things. And then, so midweek is all about the earthly order, things in order. And then by the end, we're going to be back in Gemini. So we're going to have that air mental state to come back to us. So by the end of the week, back into your thinking processes, back into making decisions about what do I do this weekend and how do I process. The difference between last week and this week is, last week we started with an air sign and we had thinking through and setting up for the processes that week. This week we're ending in an air sign, which means we're going to do all the physical work first and the creativity first. By the time we then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it's going to be all about what do I do? How do I plan? What's the next step? What do I need to think about? Let's develop my thought processes. This would be a really good day to kind of look at your practice and set up your plans for the next Sabbats or Esbats or celebrations. Put pen to paper, do writing type of things. And that's kind of where we're at. Next full moon will be October 9th. That's a hunter's moon. So once we have the final harvest, which will be in Samhain, you have the hunter moon that comes in between that, and that lights the time for you, the hunters to go out and hunt, so that you have again more food for the barren winter. And then our next new moon will be September 25th.
And then in November, don't we have another eclipse?
I believe we do in November.
The last one for the year?
I do believe so.
We'll look that up for next week. Yes, Joy, I felt the cool breeze the last couple of days. It was nice, and definitely a nice relief. Hey, Steph.
From the cauldron.
And why so serious? That's pretty darn cool and crazy. Incense got thrown out of the cauldron.
Yeah, it's been energy. So one of the things that I've learned through utilizing, you're not late, Paranormal. You're exactly on time from when you got here.
Yeah. November 8th.
November 8th?
Yeah,
Let me write that down so I don't forget, Steph. Thank you.
That was so cool last time. Remember we waited up until like after midnight and saw it.
Yeah, we waited up and watched the eclipse outside on a blanket in the front yard.
Was it Jude? I think.
Yeah.
Jude.
Ooh, you don't like that dragon's blood, do you?
Ooh, honey, it's repelling me.
Just like one of the best scents ever. Heather, you're going to have to come after him for that one.
I don't know, it just hit me somewhere wrong. Maybe I need to be aligned. Maybe I'm misaligned.
And I'm glad you're here, Paranormal Witch. One of the things that I wanted to talk about today, our big topic, is going to be, is now, celebration and ritual. I'm also hoping that Joy is able to, I know you're here, but I want to hear you telling her what to do. I would like you to have as much input as possible in this because you've done a lot of this like at UU. I'm going to share a little bit of my experience of celebration versus ritual first. So I've done the angsty teenage in the woods with the robes and the, Hecate to meet, all that stuff. I've done those kind of rituals. Rituals now are a lot different. We've done rituals with group Joy. I've done rituals with other people. I've done lots of solo rituals with Brad, Rook. We've done all those things, and I find that as I get older, the rituals get a little bit less intense as far as the preparation needed for them, and they get a little bit more meaningful and personal. So the difference between celebration and ritual. So you have your 8 Sabbaths. They call them the greater and the lesser, right? The greater, you have the cross quarters, you have the equinoxes and the solstices, and then you have your 4 mains. And these are the turn of the wheel of the year. And so you celebrate each of those things. Now, within each of those things, generally speaking, there's a ritual that is performed within those celebrations. That's one thing. Then you have Esbats, which are anything that's not a Sabbath. Any kind of gathering or celebration is an Esbat. So if you do a group working with the full moon, that can be considered an Esbat, but it doesn't have to be the moon. But the ritual can be many things. It can be a part of the celebration. It can be something you do for spell work. It can be completely separate from any celebration. And so I wanted to point that out because a lot of people get confused a little bit of the difference between a celebration and a ritual. Like, oh, you're doing the Mabon ritual. Well, we might be doing a Mabon ritual within our equinox celebration, right? Or we might just be doing a ritual, sure. And there's something specific about that. Like an example at the UU was the, what was it called? The Thousand Goddess ritual, I think. And then, so there's different things that you can use them for, but the celebration is separate from the ritual itself. Oftentimes for me, they merge together a lot because it's just, as I get older, it's just not necessary to separate them anymore for me. What do you think about like celebration versus ritual?
Well, I was thinking about why do I want to do ritual, and for me it's we have rituals throughout every day, but in that sense, it's kind of gives a purpose, a time, and a space to contemplate and give energy to something, whether it's a turn of the year or something that you're working on, and to honor deities if you wish, or to not. And for me, it kind of gives time to really focus intent and energy on that purpose. And the celebration to me is the gathering part and the community part of getting together, like with others.
Yeah. And so you bring up a good point. The celebration is generally the social aspect of celebrating and or revering a time of the turn of the wheel, whereas a ritual, and I'm going to be generic here for the first part, where ritual is the formalized-ish practice of honoring and revering the systems and the changes and alignment. So there's also ritual practice or ritualistic practices, which are things that you do ritually, like mantras for self-healing, or candle magic, or like Stephanie talking about the full moon ritual, honoring the 4 gods or deities. That's a very specific practice and ritual, the purpose of which in most cases, and let me know if this is different for you, Stephanie, but the purpose for me of ritual is alignment. And it's the celebration is part of that too. So like if we're celebrating autumn equinox, we're going to use autumn colors. We're going to use autumn fruits and vegetables, autumn foods that represent autumn, cakes and pictures and items, pumpkins, orange and black, and things that represent, even if it's commercialized, don't care, but things that represent autumn. That helps get your mind into, oh, this is the autumn time. We're really thinking autumn. And then your ritual kind of narrows the scope into the, all right, now we're here to honor Hecate. This is what Hecate means to us. This is what Hecate does in the universe for us. This is what Santa Muerta does in the universe. And this is how we honor her or that entity or being. And that ritual redirects your energy into a smaller and smaller and smaller laser focus. That's what ritual does for me. Same when you do candle magic and you're doing intent. And if your candle magic is for abundance, you're going to repeat abundance-related mantras while you're doing your candle magic usually. That's ritual behavior.
Oh, yeah. Honor the idea of the season, yeah.
And exactly, and so the purpose of that part of the celebration and or ritual is to get your mind into that idea, right? Like with fire, we use lots of reds and oranges and yellows and flannels if we're using fire in a celebration or a ritual. I think what I find that most people get confused with ritual is you say ritual and the first thing you hear is either Catholic church service, Gregorian chanting,
stand up, sit down.
Stand up, sit down, hymns. That's those are all rituals, yes, but that's not necessarily the only style of ritual. And baby and animal sacrifice, not part of the ritual. I mean,
some people might, but not widespread.
Exactly.
I don't think.
Exactly, Joy. It's outer to the inner. It's bringing things into that laser focus. So you're going celebration. We have all the fall decorations up.
Oh, yeah.
And then we sit at our altar and we hear the sounds of the bowl that we're playing. That is air balance, like your classes, and then we smell air, and then we start feeling aligned with that fall practice, and then we kind of continue to laser down that focus into a small channel, where our intent gets stronger and stronger.
Oh, cool.
So.
That's interesting, and I want to go back to why so serious. That's interesting that you just do what you feel called to do. I'm not sure if it's a practice at this point. That's interesting. I love hearing about what other people do in their practice, and that's the best part to me.
Yeah, I like the how you're saying it, calling it a ritual. Because that's a distinct difference, right? What you're doing, you may not call it a ritual, but it is a ritualistic practice. It's a repetition of a practice. So those are different things for people, right? I want to make sure people kind of understand there's a difference between performing a ritual and doing something ritualistically, like as a ritual practice. So, but I completely understand that if it's not candle magic is not a ritual for you. I'd be interested, though, to see what you actually do as part of that magic, because I bet you it's something relatively repetitive, and it's consistent, and it lasers your focus, which can be considered a ritual. Not that it has to be or should be, just it's a possible definition of.
Many of them. Oh, with Santeria, Palo, they call animal sacrifice feeding the spirit for your desire. Okay. Sometimes we ate the animal if it was good. And others we took the rooster to graveyard gates.
Which
Crossroads.
makes sense, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to talk kind of about how I've done and performed celebration and ritual. So just as kind of a guide to share, and then we're going to kind of apply it to equinox. And it's very clear, this is not a requirement of anybody to. This is not how to do it. This is just one way you can. Because even for me, it changes. It's different each time. So in a general practice, if I'm going to do what we call an actual celebration ritual, so let's say, like autumn equinox, we're having an equinox celebration and ritual, it's going to start with kind of the setup of the altar and the setup of the space, making the space conducive to whatever it is we're celebrating and or potentially having the, ritual. Meet and greet, right? You always start talking. You don't jump right into circle, because there may be some people that you're not as familiar with, or maybe you just need a little bit of time to decompress from the day. So there's the meet and greet. There's the kind of go together. Then generally there's a circle calling, or call it a circle, which is what we did at the beginning of this practice. We call it a circle to kind of set that this is a safe space, that this is a magical space, that this is an important space that is here to do some magical working, and it defines our space. It defines where our magic is going to be conducted. We light candles and incense usually during that time. Candles, maybe like autumn candles or scented candles that represent autumn for autumn equinox, or the balsam fir for Christmas, right? Or something like pine, yeah, any of those things. And then if we are welcoming deity or doing deity, we also do that right after the circle. So we may call all the four corners. The center, we may do our circle and say, and now to Hecate, or now to the Lord and the Lady, or now to Santa Muerta. I don't know that because I've never worked with her. I don't know if that's how you call her or not, but whatever you're going to do to call in your deity or invite your deity, or you just invite your source, or you don't have to do anything if that's not what you celebrate. You may not be celebrating a deity. Then there's usually some storytelling. We talk about, what does autumn equinox mean? What does it mean to be in Ostara? What does it mean to be at the Beltane? What does the maypole represent. So there's stories around what our ancestors did and things that occurred, and or all those pieces that go together. And then we got ritual, and this is where the actual ritual kind of occurs. Can be guided meditation. This can be using ritual drink, ritual motions, ritual sounds, chants, poems. A lot of times it's a small or short story that kind of pulls in from the things around you and gets that mind going. And what is your purpose? There's many, many, many different things that can be part of the ritual. When the ritual is done, you can continue doing other things, or you can close the circle. Well, I'm sorry, open the circle, basically, the closing.
Yeah.
And then what many Wiccans, I think, mostly call cake and ale, but you eat and drink. You replenish the physical energy that it took your body to use to make and do all the magic that was there. That's a general run-through.
I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not laughing at you. I'm just being silly. Okay. No longer practice Santeria or work with Orishas. And I hated seeing the animal sacrifice. I believe it's not necessary. Yeah, each culture has their own.
Castlevaniac, thank you for the sharing. I don't know that I need to know all that much about your constipation, but I do love the handle.
I don't know if I'd eat.
I'm not a Castlevaniac, but I love Castlevania.
Yeah, I don't know if I would eat more. Congolese Kendoki.
So one of the things, where is... I wanted to burn more things. What? I mean, I don't care about sharing too much information. I'm going to speak for myself. I had hemorrhoids for about a month. No good reason either.
Oh,
just
my
saying.
God.
Shit sucks. So yeah, we're literally. I get it.
I think it's part for me. That kind of stuff is where I feel like getting old. My body getting older, and the reminder to try to stay more active for me. But that my body is getting older, and you turn around and you're not 35 anymore. You're 45 in 2 months.
Exactly. So I do.
Crazy.
I do, before I go to the next step, which I'm going to pull up a website that it's a little commercial, but they do a really good job of really kind of talking about different kinds of religions and different kinds of celebrations and processes. So, and it's called Learn Religions. And so I'm going to pull that up in just a minute, but before, I kind of wanted to hear if anybody had any comments, ideas, thoughts about our... What do you call them? Celebrations and rituals, not our hemorrhoids.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
So,
please forgive me.
So yeah, no. Heavy furniture will definitely do it. Now that we're talking, hey, look, I'm a nurse, so this stuff doesn't bother me. Heavy lifting, definitely. I think mine come from when I overexert myself in the yard because I'm not in great shape and I forget that, so I will push my body past its limit. With pulling the stumps out. I pulled out 7 stumps that, normally would cost thousands of dollars for me to do. And then I should have stopped and I didn't, just kept going. That's where mine probably came from. But thank God for lidocaine and preparation H.
Oh my gosh. And it's not, it's very unpleasant.
What are you barking at? There's nothing there, Finn. They put me in the hospital before.
Yeah. Moving furniture.
What? What? It's got to be fun. Hey guys, nothing's happening. Oh God, sorry about the barking.
Sorry about the doggies.
Welcome in, Castlevaniac. Though, hope you stick around for a little bit and share your thoughts and ideas. Right. We're just talking about general celebration ritual. I'm going to go into some detail about fall equinox though, and kind of share how we're celebrating and how we have celebrated in the past. To do that, so
get some champagne.
Yeah, I'm ready for another one. Girl, I need 3 more.
Excuse me. I hope you're all enjoying coffee, tea. So I found out.
Yes, it is. If you have bad bags under your eyes, preparation H is great there. Here's the key, though.
I want to try it because
don't use the same tube for your eyes that you're using for your butt because you can get conjunctivitis from that.
I want to try that, Stephanie. So if you say it works, I'm going to try it.
It does. It shrinks the blood vessels.
So do you put it, how long do you leave it?
Put it right in your eyeball.
An ointment or cream, or does it matter?
Lord have mercy. I would say the ointment. The cream.
Cream?
Yeah.
I'm gonna try it.
I'm
always for a good
do you know
home remedy for skin. I
am not allowed to give medical advice because I am a licensed person. But Preparation H is a very Preparation H and caffeine pills or caffeine or tea or coffee, very, very important in a survival kit for SH. What do you call shit hits the fan? SHTF, right? So I am a prepper. Let's get that out of the way. We talked about that a little bit last week, and I prep for all kinds of stuff. I have over prep and under prep, but regardless, Preparation H is amazing in a shit hits the fan scenario. You do not want to do this unless this is the last resort, but it can help stop bleeding. It can help stop the spread of certain poisons or venoms in the body. Caffeine can also be used to help as a poultice. So I have caffeine pills, which also could help if you need to stay awake for safety. But you can crack open a caffeine pill and put it on a cleaned wound, and it can help stop the bleeding because caffeine constricts those vessels. So a lot of different things that you can utilize different products for different reasons. Preparation H also has lidocaine in it, so pain, it's going to help with pain. You can get Preparation H in ointment or cream. Ointment's going to stick around a lot longer and leave grease. The cream is not going to last as long, but it's going to be easier to apply. So just throwing those things out there. If you ever have a shit hits the fan scenario, Preparation H, it has some histamine in it, some lidocaine, and a couple of other things in it. It's relatively natural, and it will seriously help close up some things if you need them to close. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. I don't know what happened there, but everybody is calling for a real big economic downturn here soon. It's going to be very nerve-wracking. But you know what? All you can do is keep doing what you're doing. And keep working what you're working. Down here in Florida, it's easier for us because we have to be prepped for hurricanes. So prepping is just a natural extension of that. Although I haven't done as well this year as I have in the past. We need more food. We have plenty of processes for water, but food we're a little behind on.
Excuse me.
I think Finn smells food in that box, and that's why he's guarding it.
Oh,
Look at him.
that would make a lot of sense. He probably can't. Finny, that's not your food. That's not your food, buddy.
Yeah, hydrocortisone is for the itching, which is what really causes the pain of a hemorrhoid. But it's the lidocaine, obviously, that does the pain. And then there's one other thing in it that shrinks blood vessels, and I cannot remember the name of it, and I'm not going to bring a tube online. So, we'll have to look that up.
Oh, a lot of the prepper channels were on and popping this week.
Yes, they were.
Oh, cool. What's that? Why? Is it the death of the queen, or? I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding.
I think the biggest thing right now, and I know why so serious. I know you have felt it because we've talked about it. I've been feeling it. Everybody's been feeling it. Preparation, not Preparation H, but actual preparation is something that we need to be doing right now. And I'm not saying go all conspiracy theory out and go nuts, but there is something coming, and we know. From my perspective, I really think that COVID was just a warm-up. And I said that last week, and I'll continue saying that. The world is not going to get easier to sustain. And a lot of what I have in my prepping kits and a lot of what I consider prepping is really emotional prepping. I know my solar panels that I have and my solar generator is not going to last forever. But it's going to help give me some energy and some ability to kind of, breathe for a minute and transition into that. So that's important. I think that's something you might want to, the area really should consider and kind of keep it on track of that.
Steph, it just so happened that in Irma, which was 5 years ago, God, can you believe it?
Yes.
Our area, so where the Hurricane Irma touched down here was about an hour away in Naples. And it came up this way, and definitely Naples was very badly affected, and Fort Myers and Cape Coral were affected. Like here, some of the staff that I talked to that lived where we lived, where the power was out for 2 weeks, so it definitely, it seems, hopefully, sorry. It was me, guys. I was knocking on wood. It was me. I hope this pattern continues, but it seems like there's, pretty moderate effects.
Fan.
About every 10 years is what we get. So I hope it stays
That was
that way or
hilarious.
longer. So we definitely do get it. Yeah.
That was so
That
hilarious.
was my fault. I'm sorry.
Don't do that again.
I was knocking on wood. I need to look up where does knocking on wood come from now.
Yeah, I actually have heard that before, but I don't remember. So, yes, I think prepping is something that I'm really interested in, and I always will be because I think it's important to be prepared for things. But I like also what Dragon Dancer and Steven were talking about, and that is you can over prep. You can don't think that just because you have something that you're gonna be able to take it with you. So you have to have, like for us, we have what's called go bags, which I think a lot of people do. It's got 3 to 4 days worth of stuff in it with some a lot of multi-use items. And then I'm probably not going to be home. Or I have a very high likelihood of not being home. So that's part of my prepping plan, is where I might be in Pennsylvania for work or New Jersey or God knows where when something happens. And I won't be able to be prepared at that point. So the only preparation I can do then is here. So I have to do a lot of thinking and thought preparation and mental fortitude, which is something that is often forgotten. And then for me, physical fortitude is what I'm working on now, is kind of upping my body's ability to do things. So with that, I'm going to change the subject back to autumn equinox. And we are going to try to share, I know you're going to see the little flippy first.
Hey, it wasn't giving me the article. Okay.
This is one of my favorite websites, which is Learn Religions. And this is Mebon, the autumn equinox. And so if you're not familiar with learnreligions.com, I think it's a .com, you really are going to probably want to learn them or go to them and really look through Learn Religions. You'll learn a lot about different things. Like I pull a lot of pagan stuff from here. You can pull a lot of stuff, as you can see, from East Asian, Abrahamic, if you're interested in Christianity, Islam, and Judaism. That's, obviously something that's appropriate if that's what you want. There's Indian. There's other beliefs, which is where you'll find your paganism and Wicca, New Age, metaphysical. And these each are going to kind of tell you a little bit about them, but you can also find a lot of resource on festivals and celebrations. So when I look at the next Sabbath, which is September 21st to 24th-ish. It's the 21st is the equinox, but celebration before and after. It's the second harvest, and so when we talk and go through those steps, the meet and greet, right? So the meet and greet of Mebon or autumn equinox would be really good to be outside if at all possible in an area that has those fall colors. This would be an outside thing for me if at all possible, because it should be cooling down. But the images would be all fall related. And down in Florida, we don't get a really significant fall, but we do have seasons. Thanks to Joy for explaining kind of how that works down here. That really was some insightful. And Heather, that was a really good discussion, which I'd like you. That might be a topic we would like you to come on again and talk about the different kinds of season. There's 3 kinds of seasons that I have learned about recently, and that is we have I don't know what the word for it is, but it's based on the calendar. You have the one that's based on meteorologic and where the actual law of averages. The average of your coldest 3 months, that's your winter. The average of your warmest 3 months, that's your summer, and the other 2 are between. And then the phenotypical, which I remember that one, which is what does it feel like? What is the feeling of the season? So down here, we might have dry season, wet season, warm, damp season, and cold, damp season, right? So anyway, interesting total sidebar on that. But this website is full of really good information. Caution, just because it says it doesn't mean it's true, and just because it says it, and maybe even if it is true, doesn't mean you have to do it that way.
But if it's on the internet, it's always true.
Don't say that, it's recorded.
Oh, just kidding.
But no, so just like I take stuff from some of these, but I don't think there's ever been an instance where I have followed this to a T for something. I pull some of my stories off here, and even those aren't always accurate. So that's just something to be aware of. But anyway, so you've got the autumn equinox, and in this, you can go kind of through, and it talks about the time of the autumn equinox. I don't know if you guys can see this or how big it is, but I tried to make it as large as possible so that you can see it, and hopefully that is what you're seeing. Let me just double check real quick to make sure. Yeah, okay. And so it's the time of the autumn equinox. This is the harvest that's winding down. It is true, because you're having less coming from your harvest. Samhain is the final harvest, or the last harvest where the least is harvested, but it's also what truly will get you through hard months. Rituals and ceremonies. There's lots of different things that you can do. But look, I want you to see. These are all clickable items. So I can, setting up your mobile altar. What might that altar look like?
We need to do ours.
Here's some really good, simple gourds, simple water. You have a little chalice here. You've got a Celtic book, a wood.
That's beautiful.
Piece, it looks like a corn dog from here. It's far away. And then, just a box with some pine cones and little gourds in it. I don't know, does it have any other pictures on this one?
Ooh.
Yeah. See, just fall stuff. You don't have to do something magnificent and huge. It can be simple. And probably should be simple, as a matter of fact.
Just carve a pumpkin or a gourd.
I love
cornucopia.
Cornucopias, yes. That's cornucopia is perfect for autumn equinox. You can create a Mabon food altar. Having a few people over for dinner, you don't even have to tell them. If they don't know that you're pagan or celebrating or whatever you're celebrating, they should, because if they're friends, they would know. But if they don't, or if it's family, you can bring certain foods that are aligned with Mabon. So what are things that come into this time of year, right? The field, the orchard, the gardens, what is growing at that time that can be harvested full? Honoring the Dark Mother. This part of the year is the fall, so this is celebrated as the kind of like the afternoon, right? The afternoon into the evening of if you're going by the day. This is also represented by the west kind of area on the four corners. Now, granted, I'm talking about cross quarters right now, but this is the energy we're going into, so it's not exact. This is where the mother is becoming crone or moving into the crone time, right? So children are aged; they're aging out of the house, and we're going into the barren time between when we then have Yule and then go back into Christmas and go all the way around. So the idea really is honoring the Dark Mother, or the transitional stage of becoming a mature crone of wisdom and knowledge. So you can, this says goddess, right? You can do God. There's nothing that says you can't do the sage, right? Or both, which is, I always do. To me, it always feels good to have two together. It's probably part of my conditioning of my life. I get that. But it just feels right to have the Lord and the Lady, or I call it the Bear and the Twink.
Oh, that's cool.
Or whatever the case is, right? Just something that represents those balances. Don't laugh at me for that one. I want to see who caught it.
I like that.
So,
Bear and the
honoring
Twink.
the Dark Mother. You can, Morgan, Hecate. What are some other real good ones that, I'm sure Santa Muerta would fit for any season. I mean, and these don't have to be held to one season either. You can invite them anytime. But there are some specific things related to the Dark Mother.
What about Kali?
Kali?
Maybe?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Kali, Shiva, definitely Kali. But the idea is, at this part where we welcome deity or source, this is where you can honor the Dark Mother, or whoever it is you're working with. Then we have an example here in Northern religions called the Mabon Apple Harvest Rite. This is a really neat little ritual that you can add into it. You don't even have to honor a deity at all. If you don't want to. If you're a New Age, or if you're just working with the source, or you don't know what to honor, then honor all deity and all things that are or exist in the universe. And with the Mabon Apple Harvest, right, because apples are harvested most commonly through this time frame, this is thanking the gods and the goddesses for their bounties and blessings, enjoying the magic of the earth before winds of winter blow through. And you can do that through, bobbing for apples can be a ritual. All of these things are part of the ritual. Halloween, to me, is part of the ritual of Samhain, but that depends on how you look at it. You can do hearth and home protection rituals. So maybe you have a group of people, and something that I would like to do is we make a blend of herbs and spices and oils that people can burn around their house as part of a hearth protection ritual. We do that ritual as a group, as part of the equinox celebration, and then each person will take this home with them and repeat the ritual at their house to protect their house. Gratitude rituals. So this is like gratitude bowls. I know Joy had a really good gratitude ritual, gratitude bowl. I don't know if it was Joy or Heather, one of the two. But that's something that we really would want to do at this time, because, again, gratitude. We're in Thanksgiving, not Pilgrim Thanksgiving. We're in true Thanksgiving to the earth for what the earth has given us. And then there's the autumn full moon, there's balance meditations, and you could do all of these, none of these, some of these, half of these. It doesn't matter. What matters is you work on something that's going to help align you to the time of the year, get that cycle together, narrow that focus, and just really experience what it is to be fall. I think one of the best fall rituals to me would end in a large field of trees that has all the leaves fallen off, and we just lay down the leaves and do leaf angels. That would be a great end to a ritual for me. Sorry I talk so fast, but I wanted to get all of that out because I see some comments and I want to look at the comments, but I wanted to get some feedback on that. Like, you know, we go through this and we go through the storytelling. Learn Religions is only one resource. It is a great one because it has a lot of things organized really well, but you don't need it to come up with things. Like, you know, think about it. Go look in a garden or go to the grocery store and ask the produce section person what is in season right now. If you don't know, they'll tell you. It's like, oh, these are in season right now. I'm going to take this home and make a strawberry shortcake. That's not in season. Well, it is actually in season right now. It's going out, but pumpkin pie or apple fritter. I don't know, whatever. But there are ways that you can do this without having to feel like you have to do something perfect or set or whatever. So let's see. Yes, please check out this website. You really, really, really need to check that one out.
Alban Elfed is cosmos aligned. Alban meaning high. It's the balance time before going into descent. Oh, awesome.
Which is in Druidic terms, so that's one of the Druidic. I forgot there's a name for them too. They're not Sabbats. They are turn of the wheel, but I don't remember. Maybe Joy can clarify that because I'll have to look it up. We need to do our next course too, anyway. But yeah, so it's that balance time, like you said, before going into descent or going into the barren time of the Mother Earth, where Mother Earth isn't technically producing in those areas that have seasons, right?
She needs to rest.
She needs to rest and replenish and recuperate, like we all do. Upstate New York, this time is first awesome apple cider. So that we have a plan. We put a plan together for our mead. So we know now what our system is going to be for mead. I think we should throw in an apple cider in there to have one for next year. We don't think we can do it in time this year.
Apple mead. That would be cool.
You can do an apple mead.
Cider. Anyone else picking up the Wild Hunt energy? You're in tune to that. Are you picking up Wild Hunt energy?
I don't know that it's necessarily Wild Hunt energy yet. That I feel like that's on its way. That's coming. I know we have the Harvest Moon that just finished, and we have the Hunter's Moon coming up, which always brings to my mind the stories of the Wild Hunt, and that gets into, well, I mean, that is a good time actually for autumn equinox is the hunt. It gets more bearable to be out and to hunt. As far as the Wild Hunt timing, certainly coming. We're certainly heading into that space. What I do know is I'm picking up on wild energy. So I feel like we have had the the pandemic. It went crazy. To me, the earth energy and the fire energy, or earth and air energy, just collapsed during that whole time, and it just went in a spiral of nothingness and craziness to humans, but it's not nothing right. But anyway, and then now we're kind of coming out of that, and the energy is rebounding way further than it's supposed to or could, and it's throwing us into this imbalance too. So we have to be wary of that. But I really am interested in kind of seeing how this pulls up and how this continues on. I expect that I will probably start feeling more of that energy coming in the next 2 to 3 weeks. But it'll hit when it hits. Joy, gift us a book on hard cider. That would be great. We have got to start talking more about getting that other book thing done soon because it needs to be published. Just saying.
We got to get with Joy and come up with a plan for that. Yeah. It's a book that needs to be in the world.
Yes.
Yeah.
Celebrating with food is a really good thing. I think one of the biggest things that today that I wanted to kind of express through the discussion, paranormal, and everybody really is, don't judge somebody who does and needs to do ritual hardcore. And I know they use the term high magic. I'm not a big fan of high magic as a term, but ceremonial ritual, it has its place, and it's necessary in certain ways, but you don't have to do it that way. You can if you want. But ritual is also can be a very highly personal solo practice, and it helps align you and narrow you into your focus. You do it, for me, it's very helpful with imagery, to have symbols, to have things around me that represent it. And if I can't access those things, draw them or print pictures of them, have them around you to get into that mood. Like, we're not going to have a whole lot of fall colors down here. We don't get a lot of fall colors. Like, it gets yellowy, but we don't get the. I'm so excited about that going to Baltimore. To right now, when I get up there, it's going to be a palette of color. It's going to be gorgeous, and that is fall to me, and I'm excited about that. But I'm hoping that we can really kind of reiterate how important your ritual practice is for you to do. I would say, Joy, at Casa Shanti, when we were there, and Dragon Dancer, when we were there this Friday, it was a class, but it also had celebration pieces, and it definitely had ritual pieces.
Yeah.
So Joy led ritual imagery in the previous ones, and then we did ritual chanting and sound healing in this one. That was ritualistic behavior, and it had a purpose. And you could tell each time we progressed through that ritual practice as we repeated it, it got more and more honed each time until it was laser focused on the healing. So that's something that I think is really, really important. I will try.
Bring leaves back.
I will try.
What leaves?
Gold leaves, red leaves, fall leaves. That reminds me, I need to put a couple bags in my luggage to take with me, because last time I tried to bring some stuff back, it didn't go out very well.
Oh, yeah. I got you from your
The trip.
Yeah.
I'll be in Baltimore this week, and then and then the week after I will be in Jersey for one day and Philadelphia for one day.
Ooh, cool.
So Jersey's gorgeous in the early fall. Oh my God, I'm so excited. So that's really the ground, the big end all be all of celebration and ritual. I think it's really important that we try not to tell other people how to do ritual,
Steph.
and that we stay balanced for the rituals and things that we do. They don't have to be big, huge productions, but they can be big, huge productions if that's what you like. Anybody have any other thoughts on that before we move next to tarot?
The cards. I'd like you to show the images, and I hope they come through on this oracle deck. They're just freaking amazing.
What do you mean, you'd like me to show them?
I'd like to show some cards
Oh, yeah.
as you talk about the oracle deck. It is really freaking cool.
Yes, we have a beautiful deck this week. I had 3 decks, and I didn't know which one I wanted to do, but we're going to do what's called Earth and Bone
Oracle.
So that's going to be our deck for the day. Yeah, I know, Paranormal, we don't either here, but I'm learning to adjust to what we do get from a season's perspective, and it's just as interesting. These are going to be really hard to see.
They
All
are
right.
kind of going to be. They're awesome.
So I'm going to switch over real quick, y'all, to our updated video counter.
Yeah.
Isn't that cool? I hope you
That's
like.
cool. You like?
We put we got rid of our weakest camera and then put our old video camera on this, and then put a new Brio for the main story. Joy, I will always be incense person if that is something you would allow. I love carrying that incense around to each person.
Ooh, me too.
That's like, and then we can share that. It's so much fun.
We can share. I was gonna ask, do we have to fight? But if we can,
No.
you're willing to share.
Go ahead and put the box down there. Put it right on the nose.
Gosh, we're gonna make these show up through because they are so freaking awesome.
And just leave
And
the
I
box.
appreciate my.
Make it straight, or I want to have it
I appreciate my
a little to the left.
you gifting me. How's that?
Close enough. So hopefully you can see that a little bit better than what we have had in the past. We're trying to upgrade a little bit. Promise. See, that's the whole. We're trying to upgrade for y'all.
Let me upgrade to show you new things. And
It looks
introduce you to
great.
some new things. Upgrade you.
That looks great. So this is the Earth and Bone Oracle by Syrian Shadow. This was a Kickstarter, which we're big on. It came out gorgeous. It is a 42 card oracle deck, and we are going to use this today for our reads. But before we start taking a list, let's talk about a couple of these cards. If you want to do the review this week and talk about them, you can.
Well, this, for me, when I picked up these, see if that's high enough to show up. Yeah.
Yep. That's why I raised the box underneath. Oh.
This is a deck that, for me, like the imagery, it's kind of like, it's got some main points, but most of the cards, it's very subdued and faded and darker. And I think it's ones that I connect to easily, and just pulling a card, you can intuit from it very well. And they're freaking gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
Freaking gorgeous. So this is the Conjurer, and you can see the pentagrams or pinnacles, and it's got the statue or the person, the death behind it. You know, it's the higher self coming up, manifestation. I think that's a beautiful card.
What number is that one?
31.
I'm just going to read a little bit about it.
Oh, okay, I'll put it back.
Just so, because we're still 9 minutes from tarot. So the Conjurer is about higher self, subconsciousness, inner work, influencing, and creation. It's a reminder that you have the power. You are the Conjurer. The affirmation is, I am at one with the universe. I am divine intelligence. I am creating my life according to my dominant beliefs. Yes, Joy, these came yesterday or this week from the Kickstarter that we supported.
Number 14, Faith.
So this represents hope, inspiration, cooperation, rejuvenation, admittance, and allow.
Oracle.
Oracle, yeah. Affirmation is, I allow the energy of love to flow through me now. I let go of self-limiting beliefs. All of them.
Yeah. Right? Yeah, no 31 in tarot. Yep.
Technically, we can make a 31. I'm just saying. I can make it happen. Next.
Make them. This is number 14, Faith.
I just read that one.
Oh, you did? Okay.
What are you doing?
I don't know. Number 29, Adversary.
I already know what this one's going to be. So the adversary is hard work, diligence, progress, challenges, and diversity. You've been trained, educated, and presented with lessons in today's world that will prepare you to meet your opportunities. The affirmation, I trust that my soul knows what it's doing. I clearly hear the whispers of guidance that Spirit tells me. I love these.
I love them too.
I love them.
Number 24, Beloved. And that's the last one. I just wanted to show some examples of the...
I have plans, Stephanie. I just have to figure out two things. Number one, somebody else I know has made a deck that I really want to make sure it comes to fruition first. Well, I know two people that are making a deck, but and then I want to at one point. So, Beloved. Love, relationships, reciprocity, union, and intertwinement. Spirit is pleading with you to learn to love yourself as much as you are loved by others. In the spiritual realm, your guides love you unconditionally. Allow them to. Affirmation. I embrace, accept, and reciprocate the love that is bestowed upon me from the universe. These are amazing.
Amazing. Yeah, that's true. I can definitely see that stuff.
Adversary for me really represents that
oh, that's yours.
That's mine. Don't touch it. I'll break your fingers. Leave my box alone. A lot of the cards in the tarot for me is, the representation is of, Satan is the adversary in one. Now, I don't think Satan represents the devil in the tarot at all. Like, those things are so not connected to me, just for the record. The adversary would probably be more aligned to the Hierophant.
That's what I was thinking, yeah.
For me, and definitely the High Priestess. I'm not saying no to that one, I'm just adding one to it. So, definitely the High Priestess. As you know, High Priestess and Magician, I know they're early on in the deck, but those are my two favorite cards in the tarot. because those two together represent all things magic that can happen. It's the Lord and the Lady to me, more so than the Emperor and the Empress. Anyway, so we are just a few moments away from reading from the Oracle. We're going to do Oracle for you today.
We can go ahead and start.
So let's go ahead and take a poll. Who wants to have a read?
Or a couple cards pulled.
What is a read called?
What you're doing to me now.
No, that's a negative look. So who are you?
And if nobody wants one, that's fine too.
I just said the wrong
We're
thing.
welcome to. Oh,
All
why
right.
so serious? Okay. Cool. Why so serious? Why so serious? So raise your if you are wrong in all the ways, all my underdogs.
All right, so we've got Why So Serious. We've got Cauldron Witch. We've got Joy and Paranormal Witch. Just for the record, we're looking at different things, right, to kind of add to this. This Sunday thing is going to stay. I don't think that's ever going to change. I like just the 1 or 2 cards, but I miss doing full reads. So I think one of the things, other than doing crafting on podcasts, which we're still trying to figure that out, how that would look, because that's something I really want to do, I think we may start streaming randomly at certain times on Twitch doing just tarot at some point. I don't know if anybody would be interested in that, but I miss doing tarot a lot. And maybe we'll just do it on YouTube. I don't know. I don't know when I'll find time. Oh, I never call. Ooh, Joy, I have to call your friend. I was supposed to do a read for him, and I never did. It's been like a month and a half.
Who? Oh.
Wade, I just completely forgot.
You never Wade?
I told him I would. I said I would contact him, and then he answered something, and I forgot to get back with him. Because it was right at our vacation. I'm going to have to do that.
Ooh, Instagram. We
terrible.
definitely try that. Instagram.
I don't know how to do it on Instagram. I've never done that.
Mm-hmm.
The thing I don't like about Instagram is it makes me put a picture with everything. Like, I don't like that.
Not if you go live, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't know how that works. We'll have to check it out. All the right thing, all you do. All right, so if anybody else wants to hop in, yeah, see, I don't use my phone. I wouldn't use my phone for Twitch. I'd be using a computer, a PC. So I wouldn't have... And I actually have never had it freeze for me when I use my phone and stuff. I've never had an issue. I used to stream games and stuff on Twitch and tarot, and we did our witch story on Twitch. Remember, witch history? We used to drunk witch history.
Yes.
We did all that for years and didn't really have too many issues. Twitch has a pretty good following for that kind of stuff.
All right. So for serious.
Why so serious? Do you have a question?
Oh. I just pulled a card. Oops.
You can still read it. I'll switch over in a minute, but I want to know if Why So Serious has any question to answer.
I just intuitively pulled a card for serious, and it's number 28 flight, and it's time to take a new opportunity. I don't know if you can see it from what's being projected, but it's very dark. It's a skull, and there's a crow on top, and you can see him just lifting off. So this means something new comes up this week, or within the next week to 10 days. Go with your intuition, but trust it and don't doubt it. Take off and take flight. Can y'all see that? I think it's beautiful. I love it how you can barely see the images through the cards. Oh, anything about Odin? So, new opportunity, take off, run with it.
Yes.
Don't question it too much.
That does fit in with Odin, though. If that's a card that I'm pulling for Odin, it basically is saying, do what he says.
No question.
Which he doesn't like any. Don't question. Which he doesn't like anyway. Yeah, I'm sorry I've had such bad experience, but we can probably stop talking about that now. I've had a very, very excellent service experience with Twitch on the phone and on the iPad and pretty much everywhere else. So once we decide on where I'm going to do the tarot larger reads, I will let you guys know.
Well, what shall you pull about Odin for?
Odin.
Why so serious?
I wish you guys could see these cards just a little bit closer up. They're so pretty, but they're very gray-y, like charcoal-y. What is the word? They've got like a... they're so
Slate?
pretty. Slate, yeah.
Slate color?
They're like matted and got kind of a grayness to them that's kind of hard to see. But let's see. Why so serious?
What say you about Odin?
Ooh, Shadow.
Oh, she's pretty.
Yes.
It's number 37, Shadow.
Shadow is number 37. So the first thing that I get from Shadow before I'm looking in the book, because I do want to read the affirmation, is the need to kind of make sure. You see, it's so hard to see and it's so pretty.
It looks like death behind her, silhouetted.
Yeah, and
like guarding her.
It is. It's a really liminal color. Like I don't know. It's just pretty. But so Shadow is. I mean, this is for everybody, but specific to you, it's kind of making sure that you're dealing with the shadow, making sure that you have some things that you're holding down, that you need to let them bubble up and manage them and deal with them safely as you can. So if you haven't done shadow work, why so serious? This is a call to do that. So this kind of does make me think of the Wild Hunt a little bit. It makes me think of Odin a little bit. I was going to say Loki because it's that wildness to it, but definitely kind of paying attention to how the system works and what the process is for your shadow work. So really do need to kind of look into that. Now, the affirmation that goes along with shadow is, I will accept my past does not define me. I forgive my past. I accept all aspects and parts of me, and I am in control of who I am. I am loved, I am worthy, I am whole. So I think this shadow card is kind of telling you, number one, to recognize that, and number two, maybe if there is something in your shadow that you need to deal with, you probably want to yank it up and kind of throw it in there and deal with it, or manage through it.
All right, who we got? Miss from the Cauldron Witch.
From the Cauldron Witch.
Do you have a question in particular, Mom?
Dost thou have a topic of requests?
For Stephanie. I usually switch back and forth from a faux British accent to a country accent.
Yeah, we have no clue why.
I don't know why.
Have not figured it out yet.
You're welcome.
These remind me of some of those prints that I have. I wonder if it's the same person.
No question.
All right. General, it is from the Cauldron Witch. Now I'm doing it. You first.
I am. What message do you want from the Cauldron Witch to know or hear today?
I don't want to, what was I going to say? I lost it. I'll think of it. I promise. I promise.
Ooh, okay. So, the Earth and Bone Oracle. Let me straighten it up. Sorry about that. Pulled number 30, Prudence.
Dear Prudence.
Yeah, and to me, it's just, I'm just getting, keep your mind clear. You're very perceptive. You're very aware, very prudent, or very able to be, I would say, fair in your, what you do, the way you treat others, kind of like not the threefold law kind of thing, but kind of just what is. You have integrity. You know, you're honest. Just keep that focused and keep your mind clear this week. As you go through, I'm getting more of a... Sorry, and she's crooked again.
Maybe she wants to be crooked.
Maybe she does, but it's it's not keeping a clear mind spiritually. You know, you've got that. To me, this is saying to apply that. You know, to keep a clear mind during work this week. And if you get some confusing energy, or you know, you feel like somebody's trying to muddy the waters or cause trouble, just keep your mind clear and go with your fair way you are and your integrity. And try to keep your mind clear. There's going to be some weird energy this week, I'm thinking.
Oh yeah.
Some confusing energy.
The next card full from the Cauldron Witch is Wayfarer. This is the number 11 card.
Oh, he's pretty.
Yeah. It looks like he's carrying something. I can't tell. Is it a lantern? Feels
it's
very
hard to see.
Hierophante. There's a lot of Hierophante things.
It looks like he's carrying a staff and a lantern. Yeah.
So the Wayfarer, before reading the kind of affirmation to it, I often think of the Wayfarer, as we do, as the wanderer, right? So the wanderer is the person who's going from place to place, learning new, pulling things in, kind of calming in and pulling in new things from different areas. So the Wayfarer goes from spot to spot to spot and has new things that come into their mind and pulls into their practices, and basically it's seeking the truth. So maybe there's a new truth that you're going to have this week, Stephanie. I think that is probably the thing that's closest to what you pulled also. So it's kind of like there's some new truths that you're going to learn and that you're going to want to share with people around you. And if they don't like it, that's their freaking problem. You're going to be able to do it. It's going to be a revelation to you. It's going to be very warming for you. And you're going to have that gnosis of yourself and be even more self-assured than you already are.
Yeah, she said her coworker was fired this week, so it's just her. That was real important to keep a clear head.
You're gonna learn some more things this week, then, right?
Yeah.
that's not funny.
She needed to go.
Hey, what did you do? What did you do? What did you manifest?
Did you do something?
I'm just kidding.
No.
That was funny. I like that.
I love these cards, man. This is God, if I had the money, this is one that I would buy like for everybody I knew and give away.
This is
really
so
nice.
freaking
Freaking awesome. Actually fired on the 21st.
Of course you can, Dragon Dancer.
I did.
I bet you did.
Yeah.
See?
She needed to go.
Called it. She wayfared her right out the door.
Okay, that hoe need to go.
Dragon Dancer, I had you do the list.
Cut and clear with Court of Belial. Ooh, all right. Sweet.
That's awesome. Joy, you're up next. Do you have a question or just a general for today?
That's awesome. Cut and clear with Court of Belial. I love when people say, won't he do it? Yeah. Won't Belial do it? When they usually talk about the Christian God, won't he do it? Won't Belial do it?
Hey, it's the same heater for everybody else I can say, right? Yeah. Alrighty.
Should Joy have a particular question, milady, in mind? Lazy. Always in Mexico. Oh, and that one that kept getting COVID going over the border.
Alright, well, Joy, if you don't have a specific
Universe
questions,
news.
we will work through a general for now.
All right, universe news.
I wish, man, this Chihuahua is over here sitting right on top of the food. He is
Food
not
box.
wanting anybody to get it.
The middle later. Ooh. Universe knows what Joy needs. All right, what is it? What is it?
All right. Ooh.
I'm glad I wasn't living in San Diego still during COVID, because I probably wouldn't now in my 40s, but in my 20s, there were many times I crossed the border to Tijuana, Baja California, Mexico.
You wanted to go ho in Mexico?
Well, I don't know how I got back over the border sometimes. Ah. All right, but for Lady Joy, what say you? Earth and Bone. Oh!
Oh,
Ooh, ooh, ooh.
really?
I think this is. I didn't do that on purpose. See, that was universe. So, Earth and Bone pulled or submitted for Joy the Owl, number 36. It's all about wisdom and independence and enlightenment. I think this is very suiting or suits her well. Just like to think right off the bat, like the classes and sharing of wisdom is what I get from this, and a sign that universe is thanking you for taking that guidance and sharing your wisdom, not just now but personally from me for years. You've done that as a mentor, but I think that's a very fitting card, and it's a thank you from universe for what you're doing and sharing wisdom.
And for me, I pulled Prudence. So Prudence represents, to me, very similar to Justice, right? You see the scales, not kind of the same, but a lot of times I think when I say a lot of times, I don't even know if that's true, but I hear Prudence, my mind first goes to not giving enough or being too held back. But when you look at Prudence from a balance perspective, Prudence is just measured guidance. It's a measured balance. It's measured process. So it's a bit of temperance, a bit of justice mixed together. So this is basically saying you're utilizing clear-headedness. You're utilizing your self-awareness to meet out your capabilities, your knowledge, and your processes appropriately, fairly, and in a good way. It's a good balance. The affirmation for Prudence is, I am in a constant state of harmony, and I allow myself to feel deeply. So if that is something you can say and feel, then that means you are there. If it's something that is not, then that is something you'd want to grow. And I bet you it is the former, not the latter. That is Prudence.
The concerned way.
Yes.
All right, Dragon or
Paranormal's
Paranormal Witch.
next.
Paranormal, do you have a question in mind, my love, or are you just looking for what the universe wants you to know? I gotta stop that. Okay, let's talk in normal.
Not possible for you.
Not possible for me. We're just a shuffling. Every day we shuffling.
Yeah, that sounded less like an oracle reading, Joy, and more like just an affirmation altogether. Right
Yeah.
path, right way, right thing, right progress. Felt good. Paranormal, do you have a question this week? Or just a general?
Oh, I like that. I like those drums beating.
Mm-hmm.
Can y'all hear the music? My fake one? Or my real one with a touch of Texas twang that comes out once in a while?
It's a Mission Barbecue sauce.
Mission
Texas twang. If no question, we'll go ahead and do a general.
All right, for paranormal, let's go. Let's get it.
P-Dome.
Let's see what does universe want to say to Paranormal Witch. Oh, okay. I will, Miss Joy. In general, okay. I will, Miss Joy. What does Paranormal need to know? Good morning. Hey, a queen is never late. She arrives precisely when she's intended. Good morning, Ziggy. Yep.
Sorry. I had to go check and make sure the air was working because it's getting warm
It's getting
here.
toasty in here.
I think it's this chair.
All right. What does Paranormal need to know? When do I stop? Only universe knows. Boom, boom, boom.
You're right. The queen is never late.
She arrives precisely when intended. Oh.
I like that one.
Well, I like this card. Let me make sure it's straight so it can focus and show. So I pulled, as universe directed the pack, Paranormal Witch, and it's showing for you to embrace the community with that's here to support you. Maybe the community in person, a community online, whatever that means, the meaningful community for you. And it's all about those connections. And, you know, it's not necessarily like blood connections, but those connections that you form of people that maybe support you and that you support in tribe. I guess so. We have a group, you know, that we call Tribe, and now it's something different, Keith. But tribes, interchangeable. Absolutely, Joy. That's a good way to put it. Hold with your tribe. Keep those connections. And not just, you know, on the surface, but probably, you know, deep connections.
Sorry for doing this live, y'all, but I just felt the need to kind of add something in.
All right, cool. Ooh,
So you
I
kind
like
of
that.
see us in the corner
Can
here.
you see me?
We're tiny in that corner, but you
see?
can at least maybe see us. I think I like that because I don't like being so like long, invisible. So hopefully you can see
Me
that.
either. I like that better with the video.
Hey, Tabati, welcome in.
Somebody,
We are
hey,
currently in
welcome.
our finalizing stages here of reading a
Cool.
couple of cards. The card that I pulled for Paranormal Witch
So keep and hold with your tribe, like Joy said. Best way to put it. All right.
is Nest,
Ooh, this is pretty.
number 41. It goes right along with Tribe, and
Yes,
right
it
along with
does.
Pack. So, you know, as we talk about kind of working and doing things together, Nest is about the generosity of things. It's about creating a space for people to come in and out. So when you think of a nest, like I think of first of a bird's nest, right? And that's the place where the bird, you know, grows. And then when the bird's done, it usually leaves or abandons the nest. But for humans and for other animals, you have nests and caves and layers and all these things where they're reusable by other things. Our home is our nest. And in our nest, we open it to people who want to come and hang out. So we are hopefully seen as a generous capability of having people come and be part of our nest. So it represents sharing and support.
Oh, hey, Noella.
The affirmation is, I appreciate that my generosity creates a ripple which grows exponentially and my intentions are pure. So the things that we do every day that can be seen as generous, no matter how small, can have a really big impact on others. And so paranormal, you continue doing what you're doing and have those little daily pieces where you're just doing your best, and they will have impact on others and change other people's lives, whether you know it or not. So that's a big piece of it to me. Welcome
That's
in, Noella.
beautiful. Noella.
If you're just joining us, one of the topics today actually came from one of your requests posts, so you may want to check that out. We did a long discussion on celebrating fall equinox, autumn equinox, autumnal equinox actually, and how what is the celebration versus a ritual, and what our ritual may look like, or how that would be different. So hopefully you enjoy that.
Miss Dragon.
Dragon Lethal.
Do you have a particular question? Maybe I should just sing everything. Just kidding. Just kidding.
I didn't say anything.
It's the mood today, Noah. Yeah. Yeah, I woke up kind of really like drained and tired too, now that you mention it.
I wish I could.
It's something. Ugh. Maybe it's the change of the wheel turning and like getting to that.
All right. Well, Joy, have fun with Munchkin.
Have fun with the baby.
With the baby.
Thank you for hanging out, hogs. Love ya. Oh, thanks to Betty.
It's different if you have to live with it every day.
She has provided me with encouragement.
That's great.
Dragon, does she have a question?
Don't know, does she? Is there a question?
Because the universe is.
Or is she
I'll have to
dancing with
speak to
dragons
her.
at the moment?
I used to think I could Paranormal Witch years ago. pooping. You guys will watch again. Just poop. Oh, I hear you. Full moon, but the coffee makes the world. Well, yep, wakes me up. What does dragon?
I'll be honest.
need to
When I
hear?
read that just pooped, I'm like, do we really need to know that you just pooped? But I get it now.
Huh? Oh. Well, apparently
I was up early.
the other sharer was was talking about it.
Oh yeah, we have a conversation about preparation H and hemorrhoids, so check that
Yeah.
out too. Same, all in one episode. Where else are you going to get this kind of a Sunday service?
Right? All right, for Miss Dragon. What does the lady needs to hear?
You know what else I could also do?
Hmm.
Technically,
What? Well, thank you, paranormal.
look, my hair's terrible. So I zoomed in on this in the corner.
Okay. So cool. Ooh, look at the lights and the pillows. I like that.
It makes it look like the lights are right above us. I like that. Look at my
Describe
hair.
it.
Anyway,
Is it steatorrhea?
So if anybody wants to know about steatorrhea, it's
It's fatty
basically
poop.
your fatty poop, and it's a light colored and it floats on top of the water. And if it's not normal for you, if it's a first time or you did not eat a fatty diet before that, you need to see a doctor because it could potentially mean you have some pancreatic issues.
Yeah, that's steatorrhea.
Steatorrhea.
Fatty poop.
Fatty poop.
Ooh. Okay.
Get naked. I mean uncover.
All right. I've pulled for Lady Dragon Dancer number 16, Uncover. And it's when I see her, this really kind of reminds me. I think of Samhain, and I think of our Silent Supper.
Ooh, we're doing that.
And to me, it looking at this card, I get the feeling to take some time to feel nostalgic, think about family or friends, maybe not that are physically gone, but that may just not be, part of your life. Maybe if it's somebody you were close to and haven't talked to in a while, it might be the week to either expect a phone call or send a quick text or make a phone call out. And that's the guidance I get for you from the universe through the Earth and Bone Oracle cards for this week. Can you see it? She's contemplating, she's connecting, she's taking some time. Sentimentality.
Sentimentality.
Ooh.
And I pulled for Dragon Dancer, the Conjurer. So the Conjurer, as Rook has already kind of pulled up once before, is all about this being, or did I pull it? I think you pulled it.
What do you mean?
In the beginning. Oh, it was in the
I was
beginning.
just
when we were
showing.
doing- yeah.
It jumped
So,
out at
yeah.
me as an example of the cards.
So think about the Conjurer to me would be the Magician.
Yes. Oh, yes.
So your Conjurer, this is your manifestation. You're making it happen. You're doing things. You're making them go and grow, and all of those things are happening for you. This is the doing the inner work, the creativity, the whole process of things that are making magic happen, right? In addition, the affirmation is, I am at one with the universe. I am divine. I am divine intelligence. I am creating my life according to my dominant beliefs. So this is really that process of how things are really going in the whole process of what's happening. So meaning, as you look at what it is you're doing, you should rest assured that you are manifesting, you are walking the process, you are doing the thing, you are doing you, and you are representing you the way you should, in a way that is meaningful to you and not what somebody else wants. So that's one of the things that I really, really like about this deck. It is, I think, left-hand path aligned to a degree. Yeah, conjuring stuff, like you're doing the thing and you're working the thing, and rest assured that it's the right thing for you thing. It looks like a couple of people have come in after we quote unquote close the queue. I have no objection. It's at 12:20 of doing a couple more. Melissa Morales, I will put you on the list, but I do want to get a couple of others because I did not give like Tabati or Noella or Ziggy the opportunity to join in either. So if anybody wants a reading, let me know now, and then we are going to put you on a list, and then we're going to randomly pick from that list and get the last of you. So who else would like a reading? We got Melissa. And apparently we have another thing of champagne opening up. This is the Earth and Bone Oracle by Syrian Shadow. This is a Kickstarter that just got fulfilled sometime this week, earlier this week. So yeah, I zoomed us in so you can kind of see us a little closer while we're on it. So I'll have to fix that for back because I like the our table here too. It's not too much trouble at all. And am I saying your name right? I think it's Tabati. She is Tabati.
Pardon my reach.
Mm-hmm. So we have to grab a couple more reads.
All right.
We have Noella, Ziggy, Tabati, and Melissa. And I'm just going to put them in alphabetical order and be on. Well, no, that's not fair to Ziggy. Ziggy's like, I'm always at the bottom.
Is this your conjurer?
Yes, this is my conjurer. Give it back.
All right. Ooh, who are we going to? Ziggy, 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 Ziggy. Ziggy, 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 Ziggy.
Which one? Mine or Rook's? Mine's cool.
Mine's cool too.
We made these if you didn't know. We're really...
It's my flight. Rook Tempest Flight Seminary with a witch broom.
We're really excited about it. I don't necessarily love the... I mean, the icon's good. I just don't love it. I'm going to find something different, and we are going to... We make these, so we're going to put them up for sale for merchandise at some point. Oh, okay. Extraordinary. Probably because I kept screwing that name up.
No, I'm laughing at what Ziggy put.
Oh, Lord of mercy. I'm with you, hun.
Oh, to my Discord, make it a little easier.
Okay, so I know. So you were in here before. I didn't recognize the name, so okay. So that was, I think it was Extraordinary.
Cool. Oh, is that?
You kept saying Extraordinary.
Oh, yeah.
So we are going to get Ziggy.
Thank you, Noella.
Batty, Melissa, and Noella.
What are we doing? First,
Ziggy.
Oh, should Ziggy have a question? Or is she just want to know? Ziggy being naughty.
Look at them big ears.
That's not nice.
My hair isn't doing... I didn't do my normal like hair gel because I wanted to go gel free for a day.
Ziggy being naughty.
I'm ready.
Did Ziggy have a question?
Yes, I wanted to see my puppy for a minute.
Generally, okay, whatever the... All right, cool. Where did we see an actress that sounded like Ziggy? Was it on a show we watched or a movie? Do you remember? We just said, oh God, she sounds like Ziggy. Was it on Portals to Hell? The lady at the church house?
Portals to Hell, yeah.
It was so weird. It was like, that's Ziggy channeling through TV.
I've got my helper.
Offer a bottom and you get the top.
Lessons every day.
Okay.
Alright, so Tabati will be a general. Melissa, let's go ahead and get that out of the way too. So we got Ziggy General, Batty General, Melissa, and Noella. Do you have a question or a general? And then I think next week we're just going to do generals. Like you were started. That'll be the thing.
Ziggy is general.
We'll do a separate something for actuals. You okay with me, Bubby?
Aw, that's Toby. Finn was guarding his, not his, but...
There's a box with food in it, and he's
Yeah.
guarding it because he's just a little bastard. He's a little bastard. He's a good boy, though.
All right.
I love you.
Let me make sure this is straight. Oh, they can't see him. So I pulled for
Oh, let me change it back
Miss
so you can
Ziggy,
see.
Blood Moon, card number 8 in the Earth and Bone deck. And let me straighten her up there so the camera can focus. And it's just a pack, but kind of each wolf is looking in a different direction. 2 are kind of looking the same way, but the others, one's looking up, one's looking to the side. And this tells me to just keep a clear head when things are confusing this week. You know, it's dark. The moon is kind of illuminated. You know, when things are in uncertainty, I would say go with your gut about anything that feels off or confusing, doesn't quite feel right. Be on the lookout for anybody who might be an ego, you know, a braggart, something like that. Just keep it kind of down to earth, because the energy is going to be kind of weird and crazy coming up.
What is he doing?
Oh God, we have to show him what he's doing. And what shall you pull for Queen Ziggy?
I pulled for Queen Ziggy Trinity.
Oh, this is beautiful.
So Trinity reads to me like balance. It reads to me like Maiden Mother Crone. It reads to me like all 3 pieces together as a whole, not individual or separate. So this is being all 3 people at the one time. You know, being the maiden, which is the expressive new big energy of creativity. It's the mother, who is the mother of creation, and then it is the crone, who is the wise, all-knowing, and supporting of the whole system, of the whole piece. But it's being all of them at once, not progressing through them. And so for me, it goes along with what Rook was saying, with having to really kind of pay attention to what's around you and balance some things and keep things together, because it's going to get a little bit weird. I'm going to read you the affirmation, which is what we need to be doing to increase this energy to get it back on track, which is my focus and determination are in alignment with my greatest good. I am productive and I complete tasks efficiently. I trust my inner guidance. So this is telling you to trust that guidance a little bit more, making sure you're a little bit efficient, or more efficient than you feel like you have been, and then increase your determination and focus to get what you're looking for.
Ma Petite.
That is Ma Petite, yes. She is mad that I picked up another dog.
And I'm sorry, I apologize. I have not been reading the affirmations. I'll go ahead and read the one for the card I pulled for the Blood Moon. I am whole and do not need to chase anything or anyone in order to be complete. I recognize the power in who I am, which to me goes with your card, basically saying, you know, it's tough, but you got to pull all 3 of those energies together. Be your triple goddess, badass self.
Yes.
Whew.
Same.
All right, who's next?
That's Tabati.
Tabati.
Things have gone awry. Just kidding.
Remember her. Yeah, I remember Tabati.
I'm gonna put this thing right here for just a minute. Watch her. What you doing, Ma? I just want to shuffle 1 or 2 times.
Come on, sugar tits.
And she will not let me put her down because she squeals at me when I put her down.
Ma is going to bless her energy to the deck. What does universe say, Miss Ma?
Oh, she put her paw in there too.
What does universe say, Ma?
All right.
She's blessing the deck.
I feel like Ma's gonna pick a card for me.
Is Ma gonna pick the card?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
For Tabati. Tabati. All right, Ma. I got you, girl. Don't strugs. Pick a card. Pick a card.
Oh, she picked one.
Picked
Good
one.
girl.
Good girl.
You picked a card for Tabati? I like that name.
I do too. Keep pulling the same card. And I'm shuffling.
Ooh.
Ooh, that one's pretty.
Okay, very beautiful. Let me straighten her up. I pulled the key, which is number 26. You've got an owl perched atop a skull with rose, and she's got, actually, she's kind of standing with one of her or his legs on a group of flowers and her back leg on a skull. Excuse me. So what the owl is saying to me, with one foot kind of like as above so below, you're going to have clarity, kind of go with your gut in a situation. It's weird that kind of confusing and weird energy comes up, like in several of these.
I think
But
that's
the
part of
key-
the liminal space of them.
Yeah.
Because when you're in a liminal space, they can go either way.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the person that's got to figure out where they're at and which way you're going to go,
Yeah.
which is why you have the affirmation.
I would say, this owl is very balanced, and she's looking out. She's focused. She knows what her intention is, and she's going to be focused on that this week. Focus on your intention and what you want done, and more so of kind of what's on the inside. Go with your gut, intuition, and focus, intention. Since I haven't been doing it, I won't forget. I'll read the affirmation for you. For the key. I trust that the universe is supporting me. I accept that everything is working out the way it should.
Nice.
What did my petite pull for?
Ma petite.
Tabati.
Prudence.
She comes up a lot.
So again,
And you are shuffling, I know.
I feel like the energy truly was this is the same as the previous prudence, which I think was for joy, and it's a representation to me of a mix of temperance, justice, in the probably temperance, judgment, and justice in the tarot major arcana. So it's about clarity, it's about decisions, it's about balancing things, it's about really putting forth a concerted effort to, I don't want to say hold back, but to, like I said before, to meet out your energy and yourself, right? So when you're prudent, you don't take a lot of extra risk. It doesn't mean you're risk free, but it means you're not putting yourself out in extra risk. There's no point in skydiving right now, right? That's not prudent at the moment. And when you work through prudence, it doesn't mean that you won't do anything like some people tend to jump to. Oh, there's just a prude or they don't do anything. That's not the message here. The message here is you need prudence because prudence allows you to have clarity. It keeps you from moving too fast. So maybe it's saying also to slow down just a little bit in whatever it is you're doing. But make sure that when you are offering your energy, your creativity, your work, your hands, any of that stuff, that you're doing it right now from a prudent manner. And the affirmation is, I'm in a constant state of harmony. I allow myself to feel deeply.
That's good. And I know I'm going to get shit for this, guys, but what popped into my mind on this Prudence card was Prudence from Charmed. And she was always the planner. The other two were kind of the fire and passion, but Prudence was very thoughtful and planned, responsible. What's the word?
She's the matriarchal.
Deliberate in her decisions, maybe. So don't give me too much shit on my charm reference, but it does kind of apply.
Dear Prudence.
All right. Oh, thank you, Miss Noella. She got cards for us.
I like it.
8 of Pentacles. Thank you. Ooh, yeah. Card of the day. Yeah, definitely. She keeps coming up.
And she's clarity. She's all about clarity and another thing I could say is don't slosh your bucket around. So I love the theory of your emotional bucket. It's fine to help other people out and pull from your emotional bucket to support others, but you can't do that if you haven't filled your own bucket first. So you can't give out of an empty bucket emotionally or for anything. So from the prudence perspective, she's saying take stock of what level your bucket is at, and then you can give some out, but don't give it all out or you won't have any for yourself. And then if you don't have any for yourself, you can't help anybody.
Awesome. Are we on Lady Melissa?
Yes, Melissa Morales is up. And she said general earlier when I saw it, yeah.
Alright.
Maz doesn't feel like picking another card, so.
She doesn't feel like picking another one?
She does not. She is asleep in my arms. She is full out. Look at this. My arm's tired though.
It's getting warm in here.
I think it's us drinking the champagne.
Oh.
Yeah. You can be present without pulling too much out of your bucket. And you have to have that barrier to say, look, I'm exhausted, I'm tired, I don't have a lot to give, but I will have a cup of coffee with you, or I will sit down and have a drink and dinner with you, or I will be present. And a lot of times present is a way to give time to other people without fully emptying your bucket. That's, for me anyway. It's different for everybody, I'm sure.
All right. Let me make sure he's straightened. Wow, so I got Warrior, card number 5. And what this, of course, it relates to me to the Strength card in a tarot deck, but it's more of a focus, you know, from the inside. You're strong. It's not talking about, you know, physical, you know, you beat a lot of people down, but just to remain strong and keep that that spiritual or that inner strength this week. That's positive. It's showing me the next, you know, week is gonna be good. It's a beautiful card. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to see what he's holding. So he's standing beside a skull, or in front, behind a skull, and roses. I only get a positive vibe from this card. Keep that inner strength. Stand by your beliefs. Oh yes, I need to read the affirmation. Thank you. What you're doing and how you are prosperous is good.
Yeah, read the affirmation, but I haven't got to my card yet. But I'm starting to get a feeling of something that's like, we're going through some motions here. There's some upsets from Melissa, unfortunately.
This is a good card. Well, maybe this
Not
will
negative,
tie
I'm
into
just
yours.
saying, yeah, it does.
So the affirmation tied to my warrior card or your warrior card is, I am focused on this present moment with mind, body, and spirit to open the gates of clarity and perspective. I am brave, I am courageous, I am emotionally strong. Good card.
So remember, those affirmations are what you will want to kind of keep in your mind to say or do as you are trying to increase that energy related to that that card or that energy. And so for you, I pulled the Sage, and just off first guess or first thought of the energy of pulling the Sage, it goes right along with the Warrior. And what I think of is like different classes of people, but that came later in the world, right? In the beginning, there wasn't enough different people to specialize. So the Sage was the Warrior, was the Hunter, was the Healer. So our groups, you know, had all of these different pieces in them that we like to separate out now for some reason. Like, you can't be a healer and a warrior at the same time, and that is so untrue. Every part of us has those things in them: the healer, the warrior, the sage. And so the Sage is speaking of those things that are like wisdom related and clarity and process of positive thinking. It's serenity, it's calmness. And so when we talk about the warrior doesn't necessarily mean aggression either. It means preparation for, you know, whatever it is you need to do for protection or for maintenance of things that are around your living space. So the Sage throws in that clarity too and that balance with the affirmation of, I trust that everything is working out for my highest good. If something didn't work out the way I hoped, it means something better is coming. So yes, I agree. And to Betty, it is more than jack of all trades, because it's we also don't want to get into the thought that this is a job or something that we have to do, right? It is recognizing your strength from a place of, can you protect yourself? Yes. Can you heal yourself? Yes. Are you your own master? Yes. Can you involve social aspects and pull things in? Yes. you are everything. You are the whole thing. We all are the whole thing. We just don't always know it or really do the work sometimes in those spaces to make it. So work that mantra and work to that knowledge that you are the sage, you are the warrior, you are all of those things, like everybody else should too. And that would be my read for the sage. I hope that gives you some guidance and some thoughts to think about. And we have one more to do for now, unless if anybody else is in here and wants to do a read, please go ahead and let us know now. But we are on our last one at the moment, which is Noella. And Ma Petite says hi to everybody. Hello, Ma Petite. My arm hurts from holding her up.
Noella. Ooh, yes. All the skills and one of your twigs. That's very good.
Well, when you're building your nest, each skill is a twig, and if you're missing any big portion of it, it's either not going to be as comfortable, it's not going to support, it may fall out of the tree. So yeah, it's that pencil thing that what's her face does on
Kelly Sigler.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
You're welcome anytime. Melissa, thank you for stopping in.
Yes, thank you for stopping in.
All right, from Miss Noella. Ma Petite, are you gonna pick Miss Noella a card?
Ma is just enjoying being held.
Yes, she is.
My arm hurts, honey.
Cool.
I can't hold you for too much longer.
Wow. Oh, here's your perfect. All right, let me straighten her up. I pulled Faith for you, Miss Noella. It's card 14. And it's telling me this week if something comes up, have no doubt, trust, and allow universe for what to happen to happen. What needs to happen is to happen, whether or not it's what you may want to happen or your first choice to happen, but have faith in yourself and the universe and allow things to happen this week.
From the Cauldron Witch, as always, thank you for hopping in and staying, hanging out with us for a bit. We will be sure to check you out. And we're going to mention you at the end of our show here, which will be just shortly.
My favorite part of the show, talking about it.
I just wanted to hit that in there before we go to the next card. So, yes, we are looking forward to hopping in a little bit.
We're going to jump into your tarot stream, absolutely.
So, you're going to affirmation for...
Oh, yes, sorry. I keep forgetting.
Noella.
Number 14. So what message I got was to allow universe and what's happened should happen. Affirmation for this card is, I allow the energy of love to flow through me now. I let go of all self-limiting beliefs.
I love it.
All right.
And Noella, for you, I pulled Ascension.
Ascension. That's a beautiful
and you've got
card.
Obviously a butterfly and some other things in here. So Ascension doesn't represent the end of something or that you've moved on to the next level as far as like something different. What it does mean though is to pay attention because you are in the midst of a change. You're starting to morph into something new, better, more wise, more connected. So some of the things that you're doing to make that happen are very important, or very active and effective in doing this. So I feel it's been a little slower than you would like, but things are changing for you. You are feeling a more confident practice or a more confident direction, even amidst also feeling you're a little bit lost in some of the pieces, but you're doing the right thing and you're going in the right direction, and things are starting to look and feel like you're changing into that new next step that you're working on. So I think that is where we come from for metamorphosis. And then from the affirmation, we have, I unlock all doors to access my higher self. I am a multidimensional being with unlimited potential. I love that because I think that fits exactly in what's going on and what's this process is, right? And so, again, you are in the midst of a change. You are in the midst of becoming bigger, better, more than you are or have been. Never forget where you came from, but, what you're doing is working for you, and it's right, and you may feel it's too slow. You may feel like you're not learning enough or fast enough or changing enough, but you are right on target. And that is what Earth and Bone has to say. I love this Oracle deck.
I do as well.
Oh my word. I don't know if you can buy it yet because it was a Kickstarter. So hopefully it'll be available. Usually the Kickstarters are available for purchase not long after the Kickstarter campaigns are fulfilled. If it is not, I will be sending a message to this person. See if I can get another deck or two.
Oh, being hard on self on faith and love will help a lot. Yes. Oh, yes.
Good.
Oh,
I am
good.
glad.
I want to do my favorite part of the podcast.
All right. So we are going to go to Rook's favorite part of the podcast. Let's go back to our main. Whoops, wrong one. Main screen here. I have to reset our Zoom. What does that say? I can't see that far away. There we go. I clicked it and just made. Hopefully, I didn't do something bad. All right. And now we're going to go to. Where is it? Oh, I think it's here. No, where'd it go? Oh. No? I can't.
We're having testicle difficulties this morning.
We're having testicle difficulties. I'm dropping stuff.
Glad they didn't fall.
Me too. It would have broken. I cannot see that far away. Where is it? Oh.
I think he's left-hand pathing
There
because
it
he
is.
knows I like this a lot.
No, I thought I had a separate scene for this and I didn't.
This is my favorite part where we get to shout out to all our favorite people and offer a little bit of pointing of direction and support to those in our community. So please check out all of these awesome creators, witches, and wonderfuls. Addie Estate on Twitch and Instagram, Mr. Malice on Facebook and Twitter, who does an awesome now Friday night podcast on all things left-hand path,
Gothic culture, music with me.
with, of course, him, Mystic Salon.
Him. Here's him.
From the Cauldron Witch Tarot, who's about to go live. From the Cauldron Witch and from the Cauldron Witch Tarot on Instagram. This girl is on fire. She gives spot-ons, amazing tarot reads. Everybody jump in, please, after this. You will be amazed and appreciative of the guidance and the intuition that she does. Awesome, awesome reads. She's literally on fire.
Yes,
amazing.
I love her reads.
Paranormal Witch on YouTube and Lady Rose 819 on Instagram. She does an awesome blog. She just released one about the Plague Mass Doctor, physicians who treat victims of plague. You've got to check her out. Again, Lady Rose 819 on Instagram.
She dedicated that one to me.
Oh, that is so nice. Unexplained Possibilities on YouTube and Unexplained Possibilities on Instagram. You guys have got to check out Melvin and his Unexplained Possibilities podcast. He does interviews on all different kinds of things, paranormal, magic, book reviews. You all know Melvin. He's simply amazing. If you don't, go on and check out Unexplained Possibilities on YouTube. Mm-hmm. Ziggy Dreadful on Twitch. Ziggy streams games. A lot of fun. A great community. Same thing with Maeve, though, on Twitch. Check out Ziggy Dreadful and Maeve, though, on Twitch. And we are Two Pondering Pagans on YouTube and Facebook. Two Pondering Pagans on Twitter. I'm Rook Tempest. I do have a YouTube channel. And on Instagram, I'm Rook__ Tempest. I've got to work. I'm working actually on getting some videos up, so I'll let you know when I do. And Mystic Salon on Twitch and Salon Tolwyn on YouTube. Check him out. I thank you all for stopping by and spending a good part of your Sunday morning with us. Much love to you. I hope you have a great week. And head on over and check out From the Cauldron Witch Tarot on Instagram.
Bye. Thanks for coming.
Mwah!